back, everyone, to iceHQ Ice Rink here in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia, for round 7, game 2. This will be the clash of the round, or at least that's what we were thinking earlier today, and it is between the Snipers and the CCM Dogs. For the Dogs, this game is important if they're to stay in the race for the golden ticket to the grand final. For the Snipers, it's about making the finals. With the Inferno taking the points just 10 minutes ago tonight, the Dogs now have a real chance to put themselves into top position on the ladder. They're down by 1 point. They win tonight, and they're on top by 1 point. So they've got a red-hot go at getting that golden ticket to the grand final. So what does that mean? First place means no semi-final, no risk of not making the big one. On any day, any team can win a game of hockey, so if you bypass the semi, that's a good thing. This game matters for the Dogs. It also matters for the Snipers. This time last season, they were on a roll and ended up making the grand final. Can they do it again this year? They've certainly got the players to do it. Liam Webster has been incredible, #1 points and goal scorer for the season, in a team that's been unable to really realise its potential. The bugbear for the Snipers? Defence. They've been giving away 4 goals per game per season. For a team with headliners like Michael McMahon, this is surprising. We know Tommy Forrest is a superb goaltender, so what's been going wrong? They have energy to burn with the kids line that threatens to overwhelm defence, but it just hasn't quite been able to connect yet. If they can sort out their D, though, they're a real chance. They got some output from Paul Lazzarotto last week that was desperately needed, but for the Snipers it's going to be fix your defence if they are to have a chance. Compare that to the Dogs, who've only given an average of 2 goals away per game, and that's only so high because of a blowout against the Inferno 2 weeks ago. The Dogs guard their kennel well, giving them a solid platform to win games from. With Burke and Vajazov starting to find touch, Schumer, Ruddle and Stringer, and the genius of Joyce, this Dogs team is solid. Mixing the impervious defence of players like Leo and Jack Carpenter, and you have an almost unbeatable pack. Their only weakness is the tendency to try and be a bit too aggressive at times on the defensive challenge, which opens them up to an odd man rush if and when it goes wrong. We love the big hits, don't get me wrong, but they bring a big risk. That and discipline. They can get riled up and lose composure at times. If they can keep it clean, they're very, very hard to beat. The last time these two teams played, the Dogs took home the bone, winning 6-2. Byron Schumer for the Dogs had a field day that day, and today he's been bumped up to the first line for the Dogs. Ross, what are you looking forward to in Game 2 tonight?
Carl, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the Snipers can play against a genuine top team of the competition.
That's a big call, isn't it?
One of the top teams of the competition. So, you know, it really is. It's a challenge. They've got a few young players that really need to continue their form that they've been showing promise. But tonight's crunch night for the Snipers. You know, we've just seen the Inferno knock off the ladder leaders, the Bruins, which has now put Inferno above the Snipers. And with only 2 rounds remaining after tonight, it makes every game.
It certainly hots up, doesn't it? There's real consequences
important. Now. Yeah, absolutely. So, look, the Dogs they've been pretty standard, haven't they? They've been standard this year. They had one hiccup against the Bruins in about round 3, I think it might have been, and then they got revenge on them last week. So. It's really up to the Snipers to bring a game that can challenge the Dogs, and as you put so well, the Dogs have really been protecting the kennel really well, and the Snipers have been leaking a little. So tonight it looks like the Snipers they've got to be genuinely passionate about tonight's game and attack it as such. So. You know, guys like Lazzarotto, he's really got to start finding the back of the net. And
so too, I think, Ross, the young line they've brought out to start off with. So you've got all the Junior Worlds kids who are here. It's probably, I shouldn't really call them kids because they're all in their early 20s, late teens. But they've got a lot of passion and enthusiasm. And the other line that they've started off with, the Snipers.
All right, so here we go. So the Snipers looking to get as we had in the first game, an unlikely victory, but it can be done. So they've got possession at the moment through Josh Van Down, who puts the puck in, and Troy Robinson, the ever-reliable defender, gets it around to Lockie Walls, but that's cut off by the Snipers, and that now comes back out again. Shot in by Van Down, which is cut off. And now stretch pass out to Jamie Burke. Steps over the blue line, gets a little bit of space, puts it on net, and a good scramble in front of the net there, and cleared out by the sniper, Spencer Nave, coming down onto Troy Robertson, and Jack Carpenter come in, help Troy out. And now it's the sniper, Sincotta. A nice shot low, and
that's how to do it, isn't it, Ross? Those deep shots down low from the point. Sincotta showing wisdom well beyond his years. Interesting to see too there, Ross, the first line for the Dogs, Byron Schumer being promoted up to it, and Vijazov, Burke and Schumer as that first line. Which
he certainly knows how to put the puck in the net. Schumer, he's been on fire
so far.
He has. So here we go. So Ryan Ruddle looking over across ice to Jack Carpenter, tearing down the wing there. He'll have to get some coverage back into defence, but Ruddle cuts it off through the middle. Now Sincotta lays a nice heavy hit on the Dogs player in David Barrett, and now the puck coming back again. Trevor Leo plays it safely up the boards, and then Barrett hooks it around. Ruddle looking through to the middle. Kahu Joyce streaking through out to the back, but the puck pops out. Trevor Leo popping back there just to safely put the puck out out of trouble. And Barrett, nice little touch to Ruddle. Caught the snipers on the change there. Ruddle with a shot, and Tommy Forrest with the save.
McMahon racing across there to put the pressure on him. Good to see Trevor Leo. I think he's one of the most underrated defensive players here, because he doesn't make those big hits. But I tell you what, Ross, he's always where he needs to be, and he always chooses the right options in terms of safe play. You won't see him do anything spectacular, but there's very few goals scored when he's on the ice.
Yeah, he's very consistent. Very consistent. So now McMahon, they're going to try to, I think Michael McMahon really loves to try and wind himself up around behind the net and use his power and pace. But here the snipers now trying to defend off. There's Maxim, and now Cy Lake for the snipers gets the puck back over to Mike McDowell. Chip forward, tripped over the blue line. Sean Campbell brings the puck over, drops the puck down back to Maxim, and gets a shot on, but now back out.
Maxim was just a little bit slow there on that shot.
Oh, nice save by Tommy Forrest. I
don't know if we'll get to see that run in earlier from Maxim, but he got that nice drop pass, but just a little bit slow on getting away. Probably half a second hesitation before the shot away, which gave Tommy Forrest enough time to get organised. It's going to be a little bit quicker on those catch and release shots.
Right, so Burke puts the puck across to Lockie Walls, who throws the puck in, and again Tommy Forrest just catches that. Vajasov on the face-off against Justin Dixon. A bit of a scramble at the feet. Sincotta wins that battle, brings it behind the net, gets that one over to...
It's Burke who finds a way through traffic. Back out, Carps pops it back into the corner.
And well done again, Sincotta. Now the puck comes Van Down. Van Down puts it in front of Justin Dixon. He was unable to just trap that one. Vajasov, nice play. Looks across to Burke. Burke on the left wing. Steps over the blue line. Chips across the middle to Carpenter. Carpenter just tries to squeeze through a gap. Not quite there. And now the snipers come back the other way. And that's... a lovely move by the snipers player.
This is the young line of the snipers, really trying to line it up against what they might call the old men of the Dogs, but I don't think anyone would call that in any seriousness. But it looks like the snipers are trying to match up the kids against Vajasov, Burke and Schumer, trying to outpace them. But, we'll see how that pans out for them, making things interesting. Looking for that combination again. When Berkey and Vajasov combine well, that's when you get a lot of goals scored. Certainly last season it was an absolute dynamic duo. Vajasov gets that pass across ice to Jamie Burke on the streak, and you get those breakaway goals.
All right. Puck pops out. Troy Robertson brings it back up forward to Schumer. Schumer drops it back to Troy Robinson. Troy Robinson puts it behind the net to Vajasov. Kajasov in the battle, and now the snipers looking to bring it out. Well done. Lazaroto skates onto it, steps over the blue line, pops a shot down. Lefkowitz just covers that one up, and we'll have a face-off in the corner.
Not sure, Ross, have you seen Liam Webster on the ice yet or not? I don't think we've seen him on the ice.
No.
He's on the team list.
I have not.
But we haven't seen him on the ice. If he's not here for the Snipers, then that's going to put them in a bit of trouble because he is the number one scorer.
That's a big hole to fill. All right, McMahon steps in, slapper, hits Trevor Leo, and pops out the other side. I think that might have been Mike McDowell returning serve on the other side. And now the Snipers getting a little bit physical.
Minson there with his helmet knocked off. He has to go off and leave the ice to reattach that with modern rules.
All right, here come the Snipers again. And that was young Nickerton, I think it was.
Nickerton who was looking into the eye, staring pretty much straight into the eyes of the Dogs' defence in Bennett. I think he didn't want to take him on.
All right, Troy Robinson gets the puck out, Ruddle off his feet. Wasn't able to control it. Now it comes back again. Corey Stringer looks for a pass, well picked up by Sincotta. And then Troy Robinson, he gets the puck out. And now back to Corey Stringer. He'll look to move the puck up through the middle. Ruddle, little chip on. Matt Knox just a bit scrambly at the moment. Sincotta looks for a long pass. Oh, he just misses Brendan Connors there on the stretch, and it was icing.
So interested to see, Ross, they've made a few changes, the Dogs, for this game, moving Byron up to that first line, but also breaking the partnership between Byron and Stringer. Those two have been combining extremely well all season. So interesting to see how well that one pans out for them.
Maybe a little pre-finals just
experimentation,
yeah, just a bit of an experiment for the Dogs, but they wouldn't want it to upset their
there's a good chemistry between those two.
Yeah. So here's Lockie Walls. He brings the puck down around to Corey Stringer. Makes it a little bit uncomfortable for him. Brings it back. Corey Stringer back to Lockie Walls. He looks back out again around the corner to Corey Stringer. He's got that long reach. Gets the puck out. Sean Campbell steps onto it over the blue line. Drops it back to Matt Knox. Matt Knox, a bit of a wide shot. Sean Campbell puts it back in again. Matt Knox again. And Sean Campbell, they're both waxing a bit of puck possession here as the puck comes behind the net. And now it comes out a little bit. Collision. Lockie Walls shot down low, and Tom Forrest will swallow that one up.
It's interesting to see the contrast between Corey Stringer and Cy Lake when they're contesting the puck at the same time. Stringer, 6 foot, close to 6'6" or so, I'd guess, so around 195 plus centimetres.
Yep.
Great big long arms and great big long stick. And Cy, who's got to be 160 or 165 centimetres, so massive difference in reach.
Oh, here we go with is it Justin Dixon on the break from Trevor Leo? Got a half a step on him. Well done. Oh, Spencer Nave with a good shot, but Lefkowitz up to the task. A great opportunity for the Snipers. Great pace by Justin Dixon. And you're right, Carl, that's why they've put this line up against the top Dogs line, is because the pace could just give them that little bit of advantage, and it was a good play.
Lefkowitz lost sight of that one too. He thought it might have been in, but he had it caught between his legs.
Shot from out wide from McMahon. Now the Snipers looking to try and keep that puck in, but it comes out. Mikey McDowell over to Michael McMahon, looking cross through the middle, dangerous. Dixon comes and helps clean up. McMahon over to McDowell. Trevor Leo, good play, meets...
An uncharacteristic check there by Leo. I haven't seen him done that very often, but he went for the high ice check. I think he assessed the situation and it was the right option.
Burke gets one up through the Vadam. Vadam gets a step on Sincotta. No call, or there is a call.
Is Sincotta going to get a brief delay? We've certainly had the goal moved off its stanchion, so the game will stop. But looks like there's no penalty on Sincotta. Kajasov ridden down into the goals, but no penalty on that one.
Now, the longer the Snipers can keep the Dogs from scoring will add to the Dogs' frustration. They love to score.
This is true, but they've also had one of the most impenetrable defences throughout the competition. So when Jamie picked this team, I know his big emphasis was on making a team that would be hard to score against, building everything from there, and they've certainly been that so far. And without the Snipers' #1 goal scorer, Kahu bursts down the side.
And Kahu Joyce all the way down to the ring, tries to bring it back through the middle. Into the corner. Sincotta lays a hit on Kahu. And now the Snipers bring the puck around. But Lockie Walls, he's able to step up, takes a shot. Tom Forrest plays his angles very well.
Walls was given a lot of room there. The Snipers wingers not getting up and cutting off his options. He had an opportunity to move in a good 5 to 10 metres and get a good high percentage shot in from the distance. The Snipers will need to sort that out. You can't let the Dogs D-men have those shots from the distance without pressure on them.
All right, so Snipers through Michael McMahon. Oh, well done too. Oh, high stick.
A little bit of lacrosse action here from Troy Robertson.
Good high hand, and he's very lucky. He's lucky he got hold of that because a Snipers player was sneaking in behind him, and it could have been off to the races.
That said, it is still illegal, and as a result, they get a stoppage.
I see a face-off here between Matt Knox of the Dogs and Lazzarotto. Lazzarotto wins that clearly, but it goes all the way back down where Mikey McDowell, and the deflection off a Matt Knox stick will mean the puck will stay down that end.
And this time the opportunity for the Dogs with the attacking face-off. But an attacking face-off for one team is also a great opportunity for the defensive team if they can get a quick break out of it. There's been many a goal scored from an opportunistic breakout of a defensive zone face-off.
Well, that was an awkward bounce there for Tommy Forrest. So Lockie Walls again with a shot, puck up high. McMahon knocks it back down. Puck comes out to Matt Nickerton. He brings the puck up. He's lost the puck. Brings it back to McMahon. McMahon to McDowell. McDowell over through the middle is Sean Campbell with the cutting the puck off. But then Michael McDowell over to McMahon. Looks for the stretch pass, picked off by Troy Robertson. Over to Maxime. And Maxime, he just loses a handle on it there. And Michael McMahon brings the puck around, gets pressure from Maxime, but that strong stride from McMahon. Pass off to...
So the Snipers playing very much look for a long stretch pass option. They've had Lazzarotto floating around the blue line on right in their attacking zone for quite some time. If it works, it's great, but it's a very high-risk pass, and it gets picked off fairly regularly, as we just saw Troy Robertson do earlier.
Yep.
And then you're a man short, and a defensive player coming in with a head of steam, getting a shot away from the distance. So the Snipers want to be careful. It's pretty early days for those sorts of high-risk options, but no, it's their game plan. They can play it how they want.
So Burke brings the puck down behind the net. He's teamed up by two Snipers players, and the puck comes out to Koenig. Koenig, he flicks that one out long, and that looks like it'll be an icing as well. And we'll have another reset, no change for the Snipers.
I think one of the, I'm not going to say a surprise, because it's not really surprising if you watched him last season, but a noticeable up in performance by Byron Schumer for the Dogs has been fantastic to see this season. I've got to say I'm a big fan of him. I think he's really lifted a lot in the last 12 to 18 months.
He's got a huge inline hockey background, so it's where you see his hands come into play when he's scoring goals. It's that skill that a lot of inline hockey players do pick up and bring over to ice.
And he can skate.
He can now. So here he comes up with the puck, and
my old ice snobbery showing through there. My apologies.
Bit of tennis on the through the neutral zone here. Now for Jasov, gets a little bit of space. There's some good hands, and over into the corner. Tries to bring it down on his own. He needed to give that puck out to Corey Stringer up top, but he gets now the puck's coming back the other way. Cy Lake throws it around behind the net. Oh, it pops up, and Lefkowitz.
You're having a little bit of a chat there with.
I think
Connors.
That's with Brendan Connors. Yeah,
suggesting that you leave my goalie alone.
I think there might have been a little bit of a shower for for Lefkowitz.
If you're not aware of it, if you're watching this on the stream and you saw it, sometimes a player will deliberately spray a goalie with snow from their skates coming in to stop in front of them, which can interfere with their vision.
And not appreciated generally by the goalie nor the goalie's teammates.
No, it's one of those provocative actions.
All right, so now the Dogs through Barrett, David Barrett, and there's Kahu Joyce, loses an edge, gets himself back up quickly, gets a puck out to Barrett, just couldn't quite handle it. Now it's cleared out by the Snipers. Trevor Leo, lovely pass across to Kahu Joyce. He rims one around. Trevor Leo again, solid. Ruddle. Nice little tap in around there. He's on this side here. He's going to give you a difficult shot. He gets brought down, and there is going to be a penalty.
And he had that option to pass across to Kahu, who was unmarked on the other side of the net. He would have probably been able to evade the poke check by Tommy Forrest. It was a good option there for Kahu to get himself in position, which would have had Tommy Forrest in two minds. Do I cover the shot? And,
we've got our...
we have the first power play, first penalty in this game, and it goes in the Dogs' favour.
The under 20s captain of the Australian Australian team. Here we go. Vajasov with a shot. Oh, geez, he doesn't miss often from there, but he's missed everything. He steps around into the middle again. Looks to get one to Burke, but a bit of a scramble in front here. The Dogs just really need to get possession and settle themselves down. They've done that. So Vajasov skates around to the top. Little saucer pass out to Burke. Burke drops it back to Vajasov. Vajasov over to Carpenter. Carpenter one-timer, high and wide. It rims around. Spencer Nave on the chase, but Vadim Vajasov gets there first. Nice edge work. Leaves the young fella behind. Vajasov steps over the centre. Carpenter helps him, puts it back down into the middle.
Vajasov went for the big hit there on McMahon, but missed. There's one thing you can say about Vajasov. He's got silky hands, but he does like to carry the puck a lot.
He does.
And that's where he really needs Jamie Burke to shine, because when he's got that option of Burke, he knows he can use him. It's that combination between the two that makes him so dangerous.
Well, puck in the middle. Troy Robinson with a little spinner arm under pressure. Oh, a lovely little shot along the ground. Vadim Vajasov at the back door, right on the buzzer for the end of the first period. And the Dogs have been able to capitalise on a number of shots. They've outshot the Snipers 10-3 in the first period. And that late goal couldn't be much later by Vajasov, as it just came across the front of the net and just through the legs of Tommy Forrest. He'd probably want that back, Tommy. He just left himself open a little bit through the 5-hole. And Vadim Vajasov will take advantage.
Cross-ice pass though, Ross. The goalie has to move, so we'll get to see it here. And you can see that as Tommy moves across, he has no choice but to open up the 5-hole. It's simply a case of the biomechanics.
Yeah.
You can't move unless you move your feet, and that opens it up. And that's why that 5-hole is such a good option when you get a bit of lateral movement across the front. Yeah. So at the end of the first period, the Dogs are 1 to the Snipers 0, with about 30 seconds to go left on the intermission between the first and second periods. First period saw Justin Dixon from the Snipers get a 2-minute liner for a slash, and it was that power play that resulted in that goal in the dying second of the first. Dogs out shooting the Snipers by 3-1, 9 goals to 3 goals is what we have on our system here. It might be 10 on the other one, but it'll get updated at some point. So the second period looks to be pretty interesting. That first period was mostly Dogs. The Snipers clearly missing Liam Webster, who is the face-off master and also a goal scorer without parallel, and him not being here for the Snipers leaves a huge hole. Lazzarotto doing his best to fill it, but I don't know that you can replace Liam very easily, Ross.
There aren't too many around, Carl, that you can say all, really. Like for like. It's not often at all. Liam is an absolutely terrific player and has been for a couple of decades now.
It's fair to say that he's an absolute legend of the game here in Australia.
No doubt. And a ripping bloke to boot. So, okay, here's the Dogs with Matt Knox trying to push forward. Sincotta, he gets cut off by Knox, and there's going to be a physical battle on the boards. Well, Knox with a bit of a shove behind there from into Sincotta. It was just a little bit too much in the numbers, and you always knew when those two were going into the corner there was going to be some physical collision.
And so now the Snipers with the opportunity to get it back through the power play. But we know the Dogs, they like to score, and a disorganised power play can often lead to a goal for the short-handed team if they get a bit silly about it. And we certainly saw that in the last game where we saw a goal scored in a 5-on-3, which is very unusual, but it does happen. So Snipers can't take it easy. They've got to be careful. The Dogs will score against them if they leave it open.
Dixon over to Lazzarotto. Now they're trying to circle around here and get a bit of space. Lazzarotto with the shot on. Nickerton in close. Sorry, Koenig. Koenig was in close then.
And now
Kahu Joyce.
Joyce dumps it all the way down the other end to run some time down.
So Paul Lazzarotto takes the puck in behind the net. Comes across to Kevin Peng. Kevin Peng just a bit of an airy.
It's been tightly pressed there by the forecheck from the Dogs. And unable to get out of their own zone at the moment, the Snipers. Oh, there's almost your shorty. Corey Stringer pinging it in. This is where the Dogs are dangerous. This broken play, the Snipers have been unable to escape their own zone for about 45 seconds.
So Kevin Peng putting the puck down into the Snipers' offensive end, but cut off by Corey Stringer. He tries to bring it up and they're trying to get at it, but Lazzarotto puts it back in. But Trevor Leo comes around onto the puck. He's going to get hassled by Justin Dixon, who does very well, keeping Trevor Leo from getting the puck out. But then I think it was some assistance from Kahu Joyce, and the puck ends up down the other end. Now we've got McMahon on the rink. He's gone for
a rebound there. It's an interesting tactic. If you bounce the puck off the backboards and it comes out far enough that one of your players on the rush can get it, you can actually, it nullifies the icing if you can get there first and get a shot on it. It does occasionally work, but I think that McMahon kind of looked up and saw he didn't have any options there, so pretty much all he could do was fire it down the other end and hope. It's not the most constructive thing in a power play situation, though.
We come to the end of the power play as Matt Knox comes back on, and he's straight off to the other side. Sean Campbell gets met heavily by Brendan Connors, and now Cy Lake and Jamie Burke. Burke takes the puck off. Carpenter with a shot. Oh, great save by Tommy Forrest as Carpenter throws another one back on the net, and Tommy Forrest takes that one as well. What a terrific save from Tommy Forrest.
Tommy's off to some Junior World Championships fairly soon as the #1 goaltender for the Australian team, and you can see why there. Some absolute match-defining saves from the young man.
Oh, the puck.
Missing the fact that the puck may have hit the net here just above us.
Jack Carpenter was calling for it very animated, but
I've got to say, Ross, I can't blame him. Pretty sure we saw the same thing, but
the net did wobble.
The net did wobble, and but referees decide reality, and the rest of us are merely interested spectators.
All right, here the Dogs go. Jamie Burke, he's got Schumer, and he's got Vajasov. He's got his pick. Vajasov, the one he goes to, and there is no mistake there. And that was looking dangerous from the neutral zone, where it became a 3-on-1 for the Dogs. Jamie Burke controlled the puck. He had Schumer to choose from. He had Vajasov to choose from. He went for the safety of Vajasov, and that puts them 2-0 up.
That really is a stunning example of why the Snipers have been not delivering on their promise. They've got great attacking prowess, but they just leave those big gaps open behind them, and the Dogs just absolutely rip them to bits.
And Tommy Forrest, he couldn't do much about that one.
When you've got 3 to cover, and all 3 of them are absolute prime goal scorers.
Yeah. Corey Stringer steps over, and then the puck from Barrett is cut off by Van Douwen. Van Douwen steps over, gets a pass. Oh, well picked off by Kahu Joyce. It was looking dangerous for the Snipers. Kahu Joyce tries to put one forward, but again cut off. Dixon gets it out. Troy Robinson, ever reliable defender, puts it on to Kahu Joyce. He comes back, wheels around through the neutral zone, takes it over to the right wing. Keeps chipping in forward. Not enough pressure from the Snipers. And then he takes a shot. Ruddle gets it across to Stringer. Stringer puts one low. Oh, nice tip by Kahu Joyce, but not quite. And then Van Douwen over to Dixon. Dixon on a breakaway. Gets a shot. Lefkowitz with a save. Great save. And now up the other way we go. Ruddle steps over the blue line. Go for the middle. Gets to Troy Robinson. Puts it behind him. And that was a big chance there for the Dogs. But now back in...
kept in it by Lefkowitz with that one-on-none save. That was a defining moment for this game as well.
So McMahon out to the middle. Trevor Leo, he puts it back down again. Sincotta, he'll steady. The Snipers have got to get some sort of plan going forward here, but seems a bit ad hoc as all he can do is throw it into the corner. Trevor Leo gets back to it first. He brings it around the boards to Sean Campbell. Sean Campbell, he's sort of looking up, puts it past Maxim. Maxim has that through. Carpenter coming through hard into McMahon. McMahon's strength from McMahon keeps control of the puck. Micah McDowell pass out to Lazzarotto. Lazzarotto chips it in front of Koenig, sorry. And Matt Knox comes through, gets met heavily by McMahon. He's not going to come off well out of that one. And Trevor Leo steps in and cuts that one off, chips it back in again. So now McMahon around again with power. And he gets it over to Matt Nickerton that time. Carpenter gets control, brings the puck back, and here's Vajasov. Vajasov, he'll have Burke on the blue line. Oh, he stretches, he misses him, and catches an edge. There's been a few players that have caught a couple of edges tonight. And the icing call.
The icing is pretty good though, Ross. It's interesting to see how I don't know if you've noticed or not, the collapsing neutral zone trap that the Dogs have been using on their blue line. They've had their forwards coming back and basically making a wall of about 5 players that the Snipers are looking at and saying, I can't see a way to get through this. And that's why they've been unable to really get any effective penetration so far.
So here go the Dogs again for Jasov. Over to Burke. Burke steps over the... puts a shot on.
Tommy Burke makes it all too easy. Tommy Forrest was having to cover Burke and Vajasov again. And what do you do?
Well,
what do you do if you're Tommy Forrest?
You've really got to... he's got to take the guy with the puck, right? But when you've got someone shooting on you whose body movement is minimal and you don't even know he's about to release, and then next thing it's whizzed over your shoulder and into the net.
Yeah, that's Jamie's absolute magic. When he's combining with Vajasov as well as they are at the moment, this team is going to be very, very hard to beat.
But that was the difficulty for Tommy there. He probably had to hedge his bets a little bit and cover Vajasov if the pass had to come across. He was in a no-win situation, as we see Troy Robinson bring the puck in around behind the net. Vajasov, broken stick, and then went and got a new one. He's back out again. Schumer takes a shot, deflected by...
Burke goal. Tommy Forrest gets to his feet and flicks the puck away in disgust. He's not very happy. It's blown out to a 4-0 lead with 9 minutes to play in the second. And that was Burke's brilliance and Schumer setting it up. You can just see the beautiful pass. The beautiful rebound from the shot from Schumer, and then Berkey just there to pick it up and put it in the net. And he's not going to make that not going to miss on those ones.
No, there's you just got to cover. You got to cover that rebound. The defenders, any blue jersey, just has to get back and make sure they've got coverage for any shots that get put on Tommy. He'll make the first save for you in most occasions, but
if you don't clean up the mess,
yep,
then you're going to have a problem. And Snipers are showing us that their defence is still way too leaky for them to be competitive at the moment. They've got to do something about it if they're to make the finals. This is not the Snipers of last season, although it's mostly the same personnel. It's just not working for them this season so far. That said, there's still 26 minutes of hockey to play, and my golly, the Maple Leafs can throw away a lead, so the Dogs can do it too. Did I say that out loud? I think it is. Sorry, Leafs fans. No, I'm not.
All right, Dixon gets a puck out to Spencer Nave. He chips it in, and Corey Stringer takes those big strides, brings that back puck around to Barrett. Barrett looks through the middle. That's cut off by Dixon. Dixon gets it back to Josh Van Down.
Barrett there with a very risky cross-ice pass that the Snipers picked off quite nicely.
There's Barrett again against the boards. Taken by McMahon. Barrett puts it out again to Ruddle. Ruddle gets over off the stick of McMahon. Kahu Joyce takes a shot a little bit wide, and McDowell steers him to the corner. Barrett comes in and gets the puck over to Kahu Joyce. Now we're in the battle, in the corner battle. We've got Micah McDowell. Justin Dixon goes in to help out. And then the puck comes out and Ruddle couldn't quite get the shot away. But now coming back to Ruddle in the corner. Micah McDowell putting pressure on him. Ruddle brings it up to top. Corey Stringer shot down low. And
Stringer
that's
was looking for the tip in there.
deflected away.
Didn't quite get it in.
Kahu Joyce. A little bit of time here. Ruddle in behind the net. Looking for someone. He gets it over to Kahu Joyce. Takes the shot into traffic. And now the puck gets cleared out by Micah McDowell. And Corey Stringer gets back to help out. Over to Trevor Leo. Trevor Leo will look up the boards. He does. He gets a little bit thin on the pass. And that's going to be an icing to the Dogs. So no change to the Dogs. And let's see if the Snipers can set themselves up and threaten the scoreboard.
And with 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go by the drop of the puck, we have a 4-0 lead to the Dogs over the Snipers. It has been all Dogs, Vajasov with 2 and Berkey with 2, with Schumer managing to rack up so far 2 points as well.
All right, down into the corner and puck comes around to Maxime. Maxime peels back and looks across the ice to Trevor Leo. Trevor Leo will look up the lines, but then he goes cross ice back to Maxime again. That's puck's clear. Sincotta first back, gets about around the corner and bring the puck up to the top again. Carpenter keeps it in, chips it back down into the corner, and then Matt Knox with a pass. Maxime goes in behind the net, met by Sincotta. And then Jack Carpenter throws one on. Maxime gets a puck in front. He's looking for a pass across to Lockie Walls. Lockie Walls throws one up high, and Jack Carpenter comes around to clean up as he drops a puck back to Knox. Now Maxime, he goes in behind the net, gets a backhand out, but it's cut off by Matt Nickerson. He's met by Matt Knox as now Koenig steps over the blue line, takes a shot, it gets put wide, I should say, and it's a bit scrambly. Now Campbell steps over the blue line, drops the puck for Matt Knox. Knox takes a shot, and Tommy Forrest just pops the glove out and
so an interesting contrast between the two teams in attack. That previous little attacking rush that the Snipers had down the other end, every single one of their players had a dog lifting their stick up or interfering with their ability to get a shot away. There was no time where they were not under a lot of pressure, whereas the Dogs have been able to get in with space, and that's been making a difference, and that's where they're getting all those goals from. And we know that you give them an inch, and they will take it. As Berkey... Certainly don't think he meant to put the puck quite where he did.
He didn't, but
on Brendan Connors.
I was right in the line. I could see the puck, and
Brendan's going to have a job in the children's choir for about half an hour, I think.
Got him in the undercarriage. But yeah, that's going to hurt. All right, Vajasov stepping over the blue line with a touch from Schumer over to Burke. Burke puts the puck onto the net. Vajasov comes around and gets the rebound. And this is the part where the Snipers, they've got to get that rebound and now not let the Dogs dictate the puck control like they are at the moment. Troy Robinson passing the back corner. Oh, it hits the post and pops out.
Very nearly an own goal there by Cy Lake. He's pretty glad that one hit the post where it did. But relentless Dogs pressure at the moment, just creating space when they get the puck in attack.
They just can't get it out. Corey Stringer, lovely move, but still controlling the puck, which is the Snipers have lost the shape, and
there's an inevitability about this particular play. The Snipers have not been able to clear the puck for a good 45 seconds. And Berkey gets a shot away, but in the end, finally for the Snipers, Tommy Forrest makes a save and freezes the puck, which will give the exhausted Snipers defence a chance to get a change. As that was an incredible amount of sustained pressure and a lot of shots piled on to Tommy Forrest. The Dogs just keeping a very aggressive forecheck, keeping the puck in and piling shots and shots and shots on. I don't think scorer could keep up with how many shots were taken in that little play, but it's 24-4 shots on the net so far in this game.
Yeah, it's really one-way traffic since the end of that. Since the first period, the late goal to the Dogs, and then they've followed it up with 3 in very quick succession in the second. So here they go again with Ruddle from Carpenter. and the puck now tried to be getting cleared out by Sincotta.
Minson just missing that connection in that earlier one.
Offside.
Minson would be a little bit disappointed there. He had a nice little opportunity for a little backhanded tip in front of Tommy Forrest. Just couldn't quite get the stick on it. But very good creative play and getting themselves in good position as the Dogs all over this one, chewing it like a bone.
All right, so the Kevin Peng gets one out to Spencer Nave, who chips one down into the corner. Hasn't been down there very often in the last 10 minutes. And so now Trevor Leo with the battle there. Jack Carpenter helping out Trevor Leo, and the puck comes around. Kahu Joyce will have time to settle that down. He brings it around and gets away too easily from Josh Van Douwen then, and steps over the blue line. Tries to dangle between Sincotta. He's not going to take any of that as Justin Dixon gets control back to Sincotta. Sincotta over to Kevin Peng. Kevin Peng, he steps over the blue line, passes it over to Josh Van Douwen. And now Kevin Peng gets pushed off the puck by Trevor Leo. And now the Dogs come up through Matt Knox. Matt Knox stepping over the blue line. Carpenter stays onside, gets the beautiful save. Tommy Forrest off the stick. Ryan Ruddle with a great opportunity.
Ruddle saw a lot of net there, didn't he?
Great setup.
And I'm going to have to say, and if Bossy was here, he'd argue with me rigorously that Tommy was a bit lucky there. When you flick the stick up at that and the puck that's coming at those sorts of that rate of knots, you've got to do the right thing, but there's also a bit of luck in getting the timing of it right. And Tommy Forrest, a bit lucky to get the stick in the way.
Yeah, I think so.
But he did.
He was in position.
That's all that matters.
He was in position. Lazzarotto, 2-on-1 for the Snipers. Steps over, gets the puck to Matt Nickerton, who scores. A great pass by Paul Lazzarotto across to Matt Nickerton for the Snipers' first goal. Is that enough to give them some confidence to get themselves back into the game? So only their fifth shot.
There'll be probably this final face-off may not happen. If it does, there'll only be a couple of seconds to go before we'll go into the long break for a cut. And that gets the Snipers on the board. So with the Snipers with the kids line, that'll G them up a bit and see if they can pick up another few percent's worth of work rate. So at the end of the first period, it was all Dogs until about 30 seconds to play when we did see that lovely little goal there from the Snipers on the odd player rush, which we know is so dangerous. But prior to that, Vadim Vajasov scored in the first and then scored again in the second, and then Jamie Burke scored twice. And then finally the Snipers managed to put one in the back of the net with just a few seconds to play in the second. We'll have a long break now as the Ice will be getting an ice cut. That'll take around about 10 minutes. So we will be back with you at 10:05.
This game is our canvas.
Our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way.
The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies.
But in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Welcome back to the iceHQ ice rink here in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia, where we are about to see period 3 of game 2 of round 7, and it is between the CCM Dogs and the Snipers. The first 2 periods was almost all Dogs, with Jasov scoring in the first with Schumer and Robinson, and then scoring again early on in the second, assisted by Jamie Burke. And then Berkey scored, assisted by Vadam and Jackie Carpenter, and then Berkey scored again, assisted by Schumer. And it wasn't until the 30 seconds to play in the second period that the Snipers got on the board with Nikitin, assisted by Lazaretto and Michael McDowell, which has given the Snipers a little bit of a lift coming into this third period that they desperately needed. Because right through the second half of the first period and all of the second period, it was all Dogs. The Snipers hardly getting a look in at all. Some great forechecking by the Dogs, a massive sustained pressure. Tommy Forrest, the only difference between them being an annihilation and just a stiff loss. So it was 15 shots to 1 shot in that second period to the Dogs, which is a good reflection of how the game was. But that 1 shot from the Snipers was a goal, and we know that the number of shots on, if they're all saved, doesn't matter. It's not the scoreboard, it's only an interesting number that tells you a little bit about the flow of the game. Can the kids from the Snipers and their experienced players bring it back to the Dogs in this third period? They've got 18 minutes to try and keep themselves in the race for the finals coming up, whereas the Dogs, of course, would like to finish on top of the ladder. And if they can get this win, it puts them 1 point in front, puts them on top of the ladder with just the 2 games to go. And there's 4 points on offer for the Dogs to get them through to the rest of the season. For this last 20 minutes, the last 18 minutes of the game, I am, of course, joined by Ross Fisher. And we'll be bringing this third period to you as the puck is about to get dropped.
And we've got Kahu Joyce in the middle with Justin Dixon, the opposing centreman. Robbie Love, the referee, dropping the puck, and away we go for the third period with the Dogs winning that over to Lockie Walls to Troy Robinson. A bit of you touch it, I touch it, and then through Barrett back to Troy Robinson. As he looks to chip it up to Barrett, he'll put it over into the path of Kahu Joyce, who just slides it down, and Tommy Forrest makes a comfortable. He won't call it a save because it was not going to go in the net. But as you alluded to, Carl, the shot's on at 24-4.
They tell you about the flow of the game, but not about the score. You only need one good one to go in.
That's true. So Lockie Walls throws one in and goes a bit wide, and Barrett goes into get that back to Kahu Joyce. Looks into the middle. That's a good shot by Ryan Ruddle. He's just having pot shots at him, and no Snipers player coming in to help him out. Tommy Forrest having to do all the work, and Ruddle gets it back out to Lockie Walls. A little chip by Kahu, but that was cut off early. Barrett against the boards. McMahon pressures him, and then Ruddle back in again to Barrett. They're really just...
The telling thing there, Ross, is Kahu Joyce was allowed to stand totally unpressured, and is still totally unpressured in the slot, just waiting for a pass. If they get the puck to him, it's going in the net. They can't do that, Snipers. They've got to fix it.
So Ruddle looks across the ice, and he goes over to Troy Robertson, who brings it back through the middle again. No one there to cut it off for the Snipers. Lockie Walls puts one on net, and then... Troy Robertson in close. Tommy Forrest with another save. Tommy's lost an edge there, and now Kahu. It's almost like, and Barrett takes a shot on. It's almost like the Dogs have got a power play. Have they got a power play, Carl?
No, they do not.
And now McMahon finally gets the puck, flicks it out to Van Douwen. Van Douwen looks to throw the puck out, and that's all he can do over to Troy Robinson, who goes across to Jack Carpenter. Jack Carpenter brings it back around to Troy Robinson, and he'll probably go back around to Jack Carpenter. He does. Jamie Burke steps onto the rink. He looks up over to Schumer. Schumer puts a bit of stick on it just to take make sure there was no icing. As Sincotta goes into the corner, a bit of pressure from Schumer, and now a nice pass from Sincotta over to Kevin Peng, but that gets trapped back in again by Vajasov over to Schumer. Schumer just loses a hand. Now Sincotta. They've got a 2-on-1. What can they make of it? Sincotta takes a shot. Not the greatest option, and Lefkowitz makes the easy save.
For those of you watching this who are still in the early phases of learning to play the game, you'll see there's some magnificent defence there by the Dogs. They were caught out, but the defensive player cut off the passing option, and left the goalie to only have to worry about the one shot. That's exactly how to do it in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go, Trevor Leo. And puck out to Vajasov. Vajasov scoots that up over to Schumer. Schumer pushes it onto Burke. Burke winds up, slap shot into Tommy Forrest, closes it up and makes the save.
Yeah, Tommy made that one look pretty easy. Berkey telegraphed that from a long way away, but he has been known to do a fake slap shot and try and get a goalie to commit on occasion, so you do have to take it seriously and give it the respect that it deserves. But it was a pretty obvious shot that it was coming. I don't think Tommy was too disturbed by that one.
There's already been 5 shots to 1 in this last period, Carl, to the Dogs.
And they haven't all been counted.
There's probably 5 in one flurry.
Yeah, a heap of bouncing the puck off Tommy Forrest's pads and then have another go and have another go and have another go.
Yeah, so too easy for Vajasov there. Brings it across to Trevor Leo. Trevor Leo puts it down into the corner, brings it around McMahon. Now McMahon will look to get his legs pumping through the middle. He does. He comes around the right wing, just chips it in now and stays on his defensive post. Trevor Leo in behind the net, picked up by Nickerton. Gets a shot on, but now away they go with Vajasov over to Burke. Burke to Carpenter. Carpenter steps in, takes a shot. Tommy Forrest closes up, makes a nice save.
It's just another example of that combination. Berkey's so good at reading those breakouts. He gets speed out through the wing and he provides a fantastic passing option for Vajasov and Schumer to pass to when he's on the burst. So just a great example of how to do it. The winger getting in deep and breaking out from a long way, not floating out on the blue line looking for stretch passes. It draws the D in and creates opportunities and the opportunity to get behind the back of the defence.
So Matt Knox into the corner with Sincotta, wins that battle, goes in behind the net, peels back out again. He'll look for someone to pass to. Too easy, steps in, scores on the short side. Matt Knox. There was just no pressure from the Snipers players on that occasion and allowed him to step out around from behind the net and then just into an open lane and score the goal.
And Ross, that's the first goal that the Dogs have scored that hasn't been from that first line, so that'll be a relief from them. They want the depth in attack, but they don't want it to be all Berkey, Vajasov and Schumer. They need it to come from their other players as well. They need that depth.
All right, so this could get nasty if the Snipers don't really try and pull this back in, as the Dogs again dominating the puck flow here. Troy Robinson, he steps in, and again, too much space as he walks into a lane. Corey Stringer tries to get it back into the corner, dug out by Brendan Connors, but he tries to swipe at it. Matt Knox, he brings it back in. We've got a penalty called on the Snipers here. That's the last thing they need. So Corey Stringer, he brings the puck down behind the net. They're going to try and keep possession of it. And back to Matt Knox. Matt Knox throws it in the middle, and Kahu Joyce
has snuck in as the sixth player. The Dogs have drew on their goalie because they can't be scored against here. As soon as the Snipers touch the puck, the play will be stopped.
Well, they'll have to control the puck, as they have right there. So the Snipers with a penalty. We've got a slashing call on... I think it might be Brendan Connors. Brendan Connors. I think he's a bit stiff. I think that might have been for the swing at the puck, like he was attempting the puck, and whether he missed it and got the stick first, which would then be the correct call, but he was really just trying to swipe the puck out of the zone.
The slash can be a line call at times, depending on where the puck ends up.
Jack Carpenter with a nice sort of one-timer there. Ruddle with a backhander. And the puck's in the danger area. McMahon swats it out to the corner. Kahu Joyce gets control though, so the Dogs have got the puck. Shot from Kahu Joyce over to Ruddle. Ruddle brings it back up the top to Carpenter. Carpenter, that's cut off.
That'll go for icing. No icing on that one?
No penalty.
Of course,
power play.
My apologies.
So now the Dogs through David Barrett coming down to behind the net. Mikey McDowell cuts him off. But Kahu Joyce was there to help him out. Jack Carpenter just a little bit soft on the pass there. Didn't quite get it through to... nearly another mix-up like we saw in the previous game, but didn't cost the Dogs, as Ruddle gets a hold of the puck and Lockie Walls brings it up.
Down there was just a little bit pedestrian on his forecheck down there. He'll need to pick up his intensity in this game.
There's Jack Carpenter getting it across to to Lockie Walls, and I think is that Kahu in behind the net. He just loses an edge. Ruddle picks up Huck, gets it out to Carpenter. Ooh, just keeps it in, throws the puck on down into the corner. Dave Barrett, he brings it back in the middle of Ruddle. Ruddle gets it back to Kahu. Joyce, he steps in close, takes a shot from a tight angle, and again gets in close. Kahu, this time he buries it in the top corner, and this is going to, this is on the way to an ugly game.
It's getting a bit ugly, isn't it, with a 6-goal now lead to the Dogs. Kahu, in the first game, way back 2 months ago now, he did score one of those tricky little Michigan goals around the back of the net and scored the 2 goals for the Dogs. And since then, it's been a little bit dry for him, but he'll be pleased with that one. It's nice to get a goal. It wasn't the most spectacular. It was just a workmanlike goal of the loose puck bobbling around in front of the net, and all he had to do was lift it over Tommy and stick it in the net. We get a horn blowing for some random reason.
We've got a timeout for the Snipers.
I
think it might be to give Tommy Forrest a rest. I mean, Tommy's battling his heart out, and he's not getting support. And this is where the players, the Snipers, it's up to them to look after their goalie. I mean, that's a priority, right? You win games by defending your net, and then scoring a couple of goals.
As good as the defence that's in front of them as well. So
absolutely.
Getting so many quality shots against him, you can't expect even a goalie of his calibre, and we know he's a national level goaltender.
Well, Kahu, he was able to take a shot, get the rebound, pull it back again, and then shove it top corner.
Yep.
And
a number of shots in that play too. So
you just can't do that.
Too much sustained pressure. Tommy will save the first one. And that's all you'd expect him to do.
All right, Shinkoda puts one across looking for Nikodin, but a bit long for him. Troy Robinson, he gets it out to Vajasov. Vajasov gets that poked away from him for Lazaroto. Now he comes and picks it up again. Lazaroto looks up for Schumer. Schumer goes back to Troy Robinson. Troy Robinson, he'll step over the blue line and looking through the middle to Burke. Burke steps in behind the Snipers players. Great pass by Robinson, but Vajasov. Oh, and he scores. Vajasov, too easy. Too easy.
We're seeing a side of Troy Robinson that I haven't seen before, and that's he's being a lot more involved in carrying the puck over the blue line and deep into attack and getting shots away. I do like seeing him do it. I didn't realise he had that level of creativity, but he's playing a particularly good game for Robinson. He's set up a lot of opportunities, and when he's needed to be back there in defence, he hasn't forgotten his job. Sometimes D will come up and get over-involved and leave big gaps behind them, but Troy's having a blinder of a game today.
Troy loves getting over the blue line and stepping in offensively. He's played forward a few times and likes to get up there, and
obviously likes to score.
He does. Who doesn't? So we've got a clear puck here. Lefkowitz comes out and plays it, throws it in behind for Carpenter, but that'll get cut off by Cy Lake, who throws a puck down onto the net, and Lefkowitz gobbles that up.
That's the first shot on the net we've seen from the Snipers this period for quite some time. It's the 38-8 at the moment, the scoring shots. 7 goals to the Dogs, 1 to the Snipers, with just the 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third period.
Yeah, it has got nasty, and the Snipers. This is where, you, as a player, you've got to have a bit of pride in your game and try and work yourself back into it. And we've got an icing on the Snipers, so the 5 that are out there will stay. You got to fight games out all the way to the end, and reason, pride, but then also that if you just lay down and let the opposition come over the top of you, you're letting your goalie down as well.
Well, that's true. And no one who's playing this game doesn't like to win, and even just getting a goal back towards the finish can make a big difference, because it might not change the result of this game, but it carries on that mindset into the next game that you play. It's like, yeah, they beat us, but we won the last 5 minutes. And if you can carry that into the next game, it helps you just jump on the ice with a bit more spring in your step. And you need that. You can see that the Snipers at the moment, they're dragging the heels a little bit. They're not leaping over the boards to get straight into their shift. So a lot of that enthusiasm has washed out of them. And that's one of the risks when you have a team full of younger players. Often they just don't have that maturity to come through and lift.
Oh, and Ruddle scores again on a rebound on his own shot. So
that's just the flatness of the Snipers at the moment, and it's they need to do something to come up for the next game with a bit more of a lift. Otherwise, they're going to come through to the next game and get caned again, which is not good for them, and it's not good for the competition. So we want them to get a couple back and give themselves a lift, so that next week's game for them will be a bit of a more positive start. So they've got a lot of work to do today, because it is blown out to 8 goals to 1 with 5.5 minutes to play.
So the one thing that this might be helping the Dogs is to put a bit of goal difference between them and the Bruins if points become even. Because there's not too many games that the scoreline looks like this.
The only bigger one was a 6-2 difference, which was the largest gap we've seen prior to that, and that was these two teams last time they played. And the Dogs beat the Snipers 6 goals to 2, and this time at the moment it's 8 goals to 1, which is a fairly damning number. McMahon trying to make some space in the front. Van Down dispossessed. And, Michael McMahon, again, a player with a lot of pride in what he does, will be pretty frustrated by this.
So Lockie Walls, so Kahu drops it back to Lockie Walls. He looks to bring it around to Troy Robinson. Troy Robinson's got Jamie Burke next to him, and he tries to sneak one through. But, picked off by Jamie Burke, over to Vajasov. Vajasov, back to Burke. He tried to go back to Burke, but that was just one too many. Vajasov probably should have taken the shot himself. Burke with the backhand spinner-armor pass. Now, again, Sniper's trying to get it out. Vajasov with the pass from Burke, tries a one-timer. And now Lockie Walls gets it back in again. The Sniper's desperately trying to get this puck out. But they're Vajasov over to Burke. Burke just gets his stick lifted at the shot moment. And now away the Snipers go through Koenig. Koenig steps over the blue line. He gets pushed into the corner, which makes it difficult to get a decent shot away. Sincotta comes down and chips that in behind. Lockie Walls, the defender, gets it back to Vajasov. Vajasov looks over to Schumer. Schumer looks over and puts it up to Jamie Burke. Jamie Burke steps in. He's going to take the shot. Good stick by...
one of the Snipers.
Yeah, that was... it was Kevin Peng, actually.
Carps with a shot in around the back of the net. It's caught by Jamie behind the net, just trying to find some space. He's looking for Schumer and Vajasov, but gets out past, and Stringer having to back check now, being pressed by...
So now Carpenter gets it back up to Vajasov. Vajasov looks through the middle and tries to chip it forward, but McMahon cuts that off over to Nikitin. Nikitin backhands it in. And now it's Corey Stringer who just rims it around, but Michael McMahon will cut that off. He'll get a shot on down to the goal. Ooh, and that's just gone. That was a good shot.
McMahon looking for the tip in there from the Sniper, who was in the right spot, just couldn't quite make the connection. So a nice piece of constructive play there from Michael.
So McDowell, he gets picked off by Knox and Campbell, but now it pops back out again. Connors down the side, cut off by Corey Stringer. Matt Knox. And now the Snipers show a little bit of spirit in this shift. They're working a bit harder, which is better, which is much better hockey to watch. Matt Knox, nice move, steps through the middle, and it's a shot, but a bit of stick on that from the Snipers player. Comes back out again. So now Trevor Leo across to Lockie Walls as the Dogs look to reset as they through the middle. Matt Knox. Nice pass by Lockie Walls. Good move by Matt Knox. Steps into the middle again. Takes a shot off McMahon's shin. And it rebounds back out again, and here comes McMahon up through the middle. He looks across the middle. He's forced out to the side by Leo. Now McMahon using his size to protect the puck, and Sean Campbell trips over McMahon's stick as Trevor Leo chips it back out, and now the Snipers through Sincotta. Sincotta will try and settle and make something of this move forward. Stretch past to Van Down, but that misses everything. Troy Robinson picks it up, goes back the other way to Barrett, but that's cut off by Sincotta. Sincotta, he throws a delay at the blue line and then backhands it in. Lockie Walls goes across to Troy Robinson, and he's going to get some forward pressure from Josh Van Down, but he just goes behind the net to Walls. Walls comes back to Troy Robinson as they play a little bit of tag. Troy comes out to Ruddle. Ruddle back to Robertson. Robertson steps up offensively, turns around. Oh, well, good save by Tommy Forrest as Kevin Pang brings that out and then passes over to Josh Van Douwen. And so Van Douwen puts it through the middle, and Dixon was nearly in the right spot there. Kevin Peng over to Sincotta. Sincotta, good shot on, and Lefkowitz with the save. Good passages of play from both teams there.
Yeah, a bit more in the movement from the Snipers. We don't have stop time now because there's a greater than a 2-goal differential, so the clock will continue to tick here as we wind down into the last 20 seconds or so of this third period. 25 seconds to play, and the drop in puck will be 20, and it is 8 goals to the Dogs, 1 to the Snipers, almost 2 to the Snipers. But it won't be enough. Stringer with the last dance, can he get a goal? But just comes back to Stringer. 10 seconds now to play. Stringer looking, passes it across to Carps, who finds Burke, who finds...
Oh, great save, Tommy Forrest. That's a save of the game. And now Lazzarotto on the stretch, if he can score. Oh! The shot would have been late, I think, but it would have been an assist to Tommy Forrest if Lazzarotto had scored.
So that winds up the... second game of the evening. It was a bit of a boil over in the end there for the Snipers in the end, winning 8 goals. Sorry, the Dogs, winning in the end 8 goals to 1. And it was almost entirely, as you would expect, a Dogs' dominance of the game. They outscored in the first period, outshot in the first period 9-3. In the second it was 15-1, and in the third it was 22-7. So the Snipers got more shots on the net in the third than we'd seen, and that was probably in the last minute or so, last 2 or so minutes when they found a little bit more in their legs. But great result for the Dogs. That now moves them to the top of the ladder, which is where they wanted to be right from the start. Jordan Warren's Bruins suffered tonight with the lack of Warren, so they went down to the Inferno. So at the moment, the ladder stands with the Dogs on top with 11 points, the Bruins with the 10 points now, so they've flipped over. The Inferno 5 and the Snipers 4. The maximum number of points that the Inferno could get is 9, which means they cannot get neither the Inferno nor the Snipers can make it into the first place on the ladder anymore, but they could. So for them, it's a battle now for third and making the final. The way the draw works is the top team goes straight through to the grand final. The teams that finish second and third will play each other for the right to play in the big grand final. So that's the way it is at the moment. Next week, we will have the Inferno versus the Dogs at 7:40 p.m. and the Snipers will be playing the Bruins at 9:05. For both the Inferno and the Snipers, these are must-win games if they want to give themselves a chance to make that third place in the finals. Not to forget too that coming up on June the 2nd, we have the first ever Women's Professional League here at iceHQ, which we're tremendously excited to be able to bring to you. Until then, we'll see you next week. Bring it on.